Welcome, families, to the Hillsborough County Public Schools STEM Fair Parent Module, supporting your student with STEM Fair. Our district vision is preparing students for life. Our district mission is to provide an education and the supports which enable each student to excel as a successful and responsible citizen. STEM Fair used to be what most remember as Science Fair. Here is how it has changed. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. STEM Fair projects are a highly motivating tool for helping our students learn to use a scientific method, a way to explore the practice of science, the characteristics of science, and the role of theories, laws, hypotheses, and models. So why are STEM Fair projects so important to our young scientists? Here are just a few reasons. They allow for a variety of learning styles, so all of our students can participate and learn. It provides real-world applications. It's a hands-on approach to learning. It encourages higher-order thinking. It provides students an opportunity to investigate what they are interested in, which creates motivation to learn and discover. Students take responsibility for their own learning. It creates curriculum connections in all subject areas. Scientific thinking is the basis of discovery, understanding, and problem-solving skills. 32% of our workforce is in science, engineering, and related professions. Let's now look at the components of a STEM Fair project. This version of the scientific method is like the alphabet to reading or playing notes on a piano to creating songs. Our students will learn these basic steps so that they can later go on to rearrange them and be creative with science. We will go into more detail of each component as well as the most important component, the STEM Fair log. We are now going to create a sample STEM Fair log similar to what our students can use for their projects. Take the two blank pieces of paper from your packet and fold them in half. On the front cover of the pages, use a marker and write My STEM Fair log by and write your name. Open your log and in the top left corner put today's date and write your entry for how you started your STEM Fair journey today. Let's look at a sample log. Each entry should be dated. Avoid generic dates, such as day 1, day 2, etc. Students should begin their logs as soon as they are introduced to STEM Fair. That is the first day of their journey. A STEM Fair log may be a notebook, loose leaf paper in a notebook, paper stapled together, or any other type of logs. Logs can be handwritten, typed, or a combination of both. It is a record of everything they think and do as they work on their STEM Fair project. The log is like a diary or journal of students' progress in their investigation. Students should keep everything they write in their log, even if they change their mind or start over. Research notes, measurements, observations, and test results should be included. Let's create a quick reference page to assist us with the components of a great STEM fair project. The first 2 pages in your module packet is the 2016 STEM Fair Helpful Tips page. Fold each edge inward and create a tri-fold brochure. We will be referring to this brochure throughout the module. We want students to pick a project based on something they are interested in, but it needs to be a question that can be investigated. A good science investigation question cannot be answered in one word, such as yes, no, or purple. Clearly states what is being measured and how to measure it. Is something students can do on their own and is appropriate for their level. Is answered with facts, not opinions. Questions and projects that involve humans or animals must have human-animal research forms filled out and reviewed by the school's review committee before starting research. The purpose is a clear and concise statement as to what the experiment is about or what you hope to find out. It tells why the investigation is being done. It is written as a statement from the topic question. For example, the purpose of our project is to find out. An example question. Will a cable-stayed bridge or a beam bridge support the most weight? Example purpose. The purpose of my project is to find out if a cable-stayed bridge or a beam bridge will support the most weight. Before students begin their project, they need to learn more about the topic. Students can go online or use an encyclopedia, book, magazine, or other text, or talk to an expert and learn something about the topic. Students should read informational texts related to their topic and jot notes in their logs. They should try to find the answer to their questions or information that leads them to an answer. They will conduct an investigation to prove or disprove what they have read or heard. This information will be used to help them form their hypothesis. The hypothesis is what students predict will happen when they perform the experiment based on their research. It doesn't matter whether their hypothesis is right or wrong. In their conclusion, they will tell if their hypothesis was supported or not supported. It is what students think the results of their experiment will be and why they think that. Example, based on my research, I think will happen because the procedure is the plan for how to carry out the investigation and how others can replicate it. A detailed list of materials is part of the procedure. List all materials, type and amount. Be specific. Include how, when, and where you will get your materials. Students should use measurements that are appropriate at their grade and ability level. Remember, they need to record it in their log. The variables are part of the procedure. It describes exactly what is being measured and how it will be measured. Students do not need to know the vocabulary, independent manipulated variable, dependent responding variable, held constant, control. But the projects do have to be labeled with some type of terminology. It can be what I kept the same, changed on purpose, and what changed because of what I did. Students should understand that investigations should contain these 3 parts. Directions should be written step by step. like a recipe that others can follow and replicate our experiment. Write them clearly so someone else can follow them. Be specific. Direction steps need to be numbered. The experiment needs to be done 5 or more times in order to have sufficient data to make an accurate conclusion. Step number 1 is always gather materials. Remember to indicate how many trials are necessary. Example, repeat steps 3 through 6 4 more times, with each item being tested for a total of 5 trials. We will now make an entry in our STEM Fair logs. Don't forget to date your entry. We will be adding an example of step-by-step directions on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. In your STEM Fair notebook, create an entry and write step-by-step directions explaining how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Data will be the most time-consuming and sometimes messiest part of STEM Fair. Data should be kept in a chart or table. All the trials of the experiment must be recorded and should be 5 or more trials. In grades 3 through 5, students will spend several science periods collecting data. Kindergarten through 2nd grade will have one class project and will collect their data together with their class. In grades 3 through 5, the data collection portion may be done at home if parents are willing and able to help. Students should record data in their logs and then create their data chart and graph at school. We no longer average or find the mean in elementary school. After data has been collected, a graph will be created based on the data. It is an organized way to display the data collected during the experiment. There are 2 main types of graphs: bar graph, line graph. Graphs should be grade level appropriate and understood by the student. The conclusion is the analysis of the data as it relates to the original hypothesis. It should include whether or not the student's data supports their hypothesis, describe the data in detail. What does the data mean? Compare the results with the background information, a description of any problems that occurred, and what students would do differently next time. Students should make real-world connections and explain why their experiment is important. How students do their STEM Fair display for their school site-based STEM Fair is up to the school site. Schools may choose to use construction paper mini boards, typed up copies of what might be displayed on a show board, handwritten lists of possible show board information, or whatever works for their school. The large cardboard display boards are only needed for the students who advance to the district STEM Fair competition. The information needs to flow, but parts do not necessarily need to be in these positions. For example, it's okay if the directions go in the center and the pictures are in various places, etc. Parents, art teachers, etc. may assist with the boards. Boards are not judged. The students are judged on what he or she has learned and can explain, and what has been written and drawn in their logs. This is a list of the school entries that are allowed for the district STEM Fair competition. Kindergarten through 2nd grade can submit 1 class project per grade level. 3rd through 5th grade may submit 2 individual projects per grade level. 3rd through 5th grade may submit 2 small group projects per grade level, and 1 additional project from an exceptional education group that may be included per school. At the district competition, the projects are judged using the following criteria. Is the scientific method, engineering design, or process evident? Does the STEM Fair log include a chronology and anecdotal notes of the project? Is data communicated correctly and clearly? Did the student effectively communicate his or her project findings to the judges? It is extremely important that we allow our students to grow and learn during this experience. We can do this by stepping back and allowing the children to make a scientific discovery on their own. The biggest way we can help is by providing them the materials they need to conduct their experiment. Assisting them in the experiment or during data collection is okay, but remember, they are the scientists, so allow them to do as much as possible on their own. Ask them about their project. Probe them with questions such as, what part are you currently working on? What have you discovered so far? Do you notice anything in the data you've collected? What do you predict will happen next? Etc. Model a can-do attitude towards science, encouraging and expecting your child to do his or her best. One of the most important things a parent can do is encourage their child and build upon the student's natural curiosity. Please take out your STEM Fair log and write down the important dates as they pertain to your child. STEM Fair is part of kindergarten through 5th grade's curriculum. Once again, thank you for spending time with us today. For additional help, ideas, and information, please contact your student's teacher. For information regarding Hillsborough County Public Schools elementary science events and policies, please contact Shauna Tirado, Elementary Science Supervisor. You can email her at shauna.tirado@sdhc.k12.fl.us. Thank you for your continued support of science.